Welcome to Align Trading, going over today's SPY recap and live analysis. Before going over what to look for tomorrow, we do have CPI in the morning. But today in the pre-market brief for Discord members, I explained to be watching for the purple buying continuation along with the yellow and blue controlled selling, and 548 was going to be that key level, as well as the 5-day moving average, which was around here as well throughout the day. So first structure that I explained to be watching for here was going to be this inverse head and shoulder, and if we wanted to form something like this, we could do so. Even if we started to form it right here and you saw this shoulder starting to take place, we could look for that 550 retest. Now, what I also explained to the downside was to be watching for that 5-day moving average along with the larger inverse cup starting to form right here. So you can see we have this rejection here in the morning and we have this head and shoulder, but this is what you're looking for right here. And once we form that, we start to complete this inverse cup. Now, we do not form this handle right here, and there is no more continuation. We do not get this fill or anything to the downside right here, or grab anything like that quite yet. Now, with the filled handle right here, you see how we start to head back up off of this inverse head and shoulder, grabbing this liquidity again and filling this cup back up at that 548.64 level, which I will show you on the 1-minute chart in just a minute. Now, at this point, it leaves us with a couple possibilities of what we can do here. We are now above this 5-day moving average, but still below this 20-day, and I will go over this towards the end of the video, but now to the 1-minute chart. So now going over the microstructure and the algorithms on the 1-minute chart. First thing in the morning, we can see that we are unable to break above that 548.64, and we get this triple top rejection right here. We are unable to break out even with the blue and yellow controlled selling right here. We're unable to form this handle once again, and we never get that continuation even right here, right? There is no continuation above that. The other thing you had to be paying attention to though was this inverse cup right here, and I explained if we started to form a handle, you could look for that downside, but the 5-day moving average was right here and we had not gotten below it yet and formed that resistance. So if you did not take this trade quite yet, that is okay. But right here, we are able to get back below it, and we finally form that shoulder off of that 5-day moving average and start to get this move down right here within this yellow. Now right here within the yellow, we fail to head down once again with that shoulder, and we start to taper within this blue right here. And I explained that if we are going to reverse, watch for the 5-day moving average still. We need to regain it and form something bullish off of it. You can see we try right here, but there is no continuation. Right here, we continue to reject this 5-day moving average, and I explained to be watching for this head and shoulder that can be forming right here, as well as this inverse cup. And you can see we close the inverse cup right there, but we are unable to form that handle, and there is no continuation to the downside. And with the fail of the inverse cup right there, you can look for that bullish sign, and we form this inverse head and shoulder back off of this 5-day moving average right here. You can see how we form that cup, and then there is this handle off of that support right there, but there's just not much continuation right here, and we cannot regain that key level of 547.62. And at this point, you start to see how we can be forming this head and shoulder right there, and this larger liquidity for the shoulder right here, and we start to form that inverse cup. You see the head and shoulder right there, and we get that large candle. Now, I personally missed my entry on this trade right here. I was waiting for this inverse cup to close and expecting maybe another handle like that, and then I would be looking to take it. It came a little sooner than I was expecting and ended up being a really great trade within that yellow. Now, theoretically, I could have taken this entry right here, but I just did not like it for a new entry. I would have liked to have seen something like this, retesting those lows, and then I would be more inclined to take it once again. Just not the best trade. Wasn't sure if it was going to form a reversal right here because of the choppy morning that we've had. There were quite a bit of fake outs, and I just did not want to enter something like that. You can see right here, we do not get that breakout and rather the downside. So I just did not want to take that risk on a new entry. All good. But if you were in runners from this entry right here, then you had a very nice continuation within that yellow. Now right here with this move down, I explained to be watching on the 30-minute chart, this inverse cup that was slowly starting to form right here. And if we wanted to head down, well, you would need to see this handle right here or something cracking that low right here, which never happened. We never got below it. Now we were never able to form that handle to continue lower. You can see right here, we never formed that head and shoulder. There's no inverse cup and handle, anything like that to bring us down. And even if you're trying to still short this, you have to see that shoulder. You need to see that inverse cup. Once again, same thing right here if you are looking for that. Now, what you also had to still pay attention to was that 5-day moving average, right? Which was right around this level right here. And I explained to be looking for this cup and this handle starting to form right here if you wanted to see that continuation and start to close the larger cup, being this 548.46, which ended up taking us the entire day to do. Very slow, but you can see the structure on the way up within that blue and yellow with these inverse head and shoulders, and we get this continuation to close the cup at that level. But we ran out of time here at the end of the day to see if we were once again going to get more continuation up to that 550 level that I talked about. So now going over what to be watching tomorrow, we are going to start with a gap up or gap down due to CPI in the pre-market. So that means you have to be paying attention to 20-day moving average right here as well as the 5-day. In the case that we start with a gap up, you can look for this 20-day moving average to become resistance. And from there, we have all of this liquidity on this left shoulder if it is a trap and we start to head down. Now, in the case that there is a gap down, you can be looking for this liquidity that we have right here, and you'll want to see something like this starting to form if there is downside, but you have to be paying attention to this liquidity right here that we can be grabbing to the upside if we are above that 5-day moving average, and then if we regain that 20 as well, we have liquidity on the way up right here and can continue, especially up to this 555 right there, which is a key level. So if I zoom out some, right, you can see what I'm talking about. We have this yellow algorithm right here, and if we start to break out of it, you will want to see us grabbing that liquidity on the way up, and we can start to fill this cup right here, and then from there, once again, you'll want to be seeing that handle if we continue from there, but this will not be all done tomorrow. So here on the daily with the two moving averages, we are now back above that 5-day, but we can very easily, right, do what we did here, reject this 20-day and back below the 5-day and back into the downtrend to test this bottom Bollinger right here. Or in the case that we do have a positive day tomorrow and we regain that 20-day, well, we can be looking for this reversal, but we do need to regain that. Otherwise, we will be wanting to see that bottom Bollinger retest that I've been mentioning for the past couple of days. We'll have to see, but you can see how this can possibly be a handle right here off that 5-day moving average, and we can get that continuation. We'll just have to see what happens and paying attention to these. But that will wrap up the video for tonight. Thank you everyone for watching, and I will see members in the morning.